Hello, the name of today's demonstration is mixed media recomposition. I know that's not a real word, but I'm going to use a brayer painting that I made, and I created a viewfinder ahead of time. Mine is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. You could change the size depending on your needs. And I'm going to move it around on top of this brayer painting and find areas that I think are interesting. It's actually like having mini compositions within one piece. I trace it, and I'm going to keep doing that, and then I'd cut these squares out, and I'm going to use them to compose a new composition. So I've already gone ahead and done it with another piece. Here are my pieces that I cut out. I think it was a painting I made last week. Yes. Okay, so then this is the part that takes a little bit of time. I'm looking for connections, usually through lines and shapes. So I've got these very strong lines here. I could connect them that way. And I just have to keep shuffling these around until something seems to click. So these red lines kind of match up. This shape matches up. Now, truthfully, I had to front load this one. I had to play with a little bit because this takes time. And so I already have my composition designed. What happened was I was fiddling around with these, and this is part of an old recipe book. It says poultry. And then I thought, oh, these little things look like eggs. And so this idea of a chicken came to mind, and I remembered that a friend had given me a funny image of a chicken, and so I composed my composition is, hang on, I got it right. My composition has the chicken in it. I have a little cheat sheet over here that I printed out so I know where the pieces go, because this takes a bit of fiddling around. And what helps is as you're playing with this, you can take photos with your phone, and you can come up with a number of compositions, and then you know, since you've documented it with your phone, then you can pick the one that you want before you glue anything down. Okay. So then I have this over here. Okay. And then I had the feet over here. Okay, so you can see this is that's a lot of pieces. Okay. The feeling I wanted was almost like she's wearing a jacket or a dress or something. Okay, so I've got enough of that going. Now I want to start gluing these pieces down. There's a number of ways of doing that. I'm going to use a gel medium. You can use Mod Podge. I like the gel medium because it's a little bit thicker and sturdier. I can position the pieces. I just don't have as much glue gooping out. I guess that's what I want to say. Okay, so I'm going to glue. I'm swiping some of this down with my silicone paintbrush. think you can see why I did this ahead of time. Okay, so now okay, so here's part of the solid structure. I'm going to put the feet on here. And hang on. No, I changed my mind. I'm not. Sorry about that. Okay, this comes over here. That overlaps. Okay. Okay, so there's my structure. The legs are going to go there. The tail feather, I'm going to call it the tail feather bustle, goes over there. And I could glue these down, but I want to do a little, I want to add some line work with a string. So I'm going to do that first. So I want to add a little movement. So I'm penciling that in. Actually, I'm going to change it a little bit. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I have a cotton cord that I've already pre-soaked in water and then wrung it out. I did that because I'm going to put this liquid black paint and I want the string to absorb the liquid black paint, and that'll happen. It'll be better if the string is already soaked. It'll absorb it better. Okay. And I usually hold a brush on top of the string and pull it through. Sometimes I have to do this a couple of times. Hopefully this round works. And then what I like is I can, here, let me turn my camera. I can start at one end and I can very carefully lower that string and kind of curve it pretty accurately along my pencil line. Okay, that needs a little bit more paint. I'm going to do it again. So what I like about the string is I get both a precise and kind of imprecise line at the same time. It's got more character to it. Okay, here I go again. I lower it down. Okay, that's something really fun to play with. Okay, now I'm going to bring my chicken feet back on top. Ideally, that I would let that dry, but we don't have that time right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and a lot of it's going to get covered up. All right. Yeah, ideally that I would give that drying time so the black paint doesn't smear, but you get the idea. Okay, here come the feet. I'm putting it on the back of the chicken feet so I don't smear the black ink. Okay, now I'm going to glue my whole chicken on top, and I'm going to add, I will be adding some more marks to it. Okay. Okay. Now I'm actually putting the gel medium right on top, underneath and on top. If you don't have a silicone brush, you can use like I think like a Bondo scraper or a catalyst tool. The silicone's nice because it's not going to scrape through and rip your paper. Okay, so now I've got it all glued down. I'm going to trim up this edge here. Okay, now these things remind me of eggs. I've got this original collage material that I made with stamping these little circles. I could add some more if I want. To further integrate it. And if I hadn't been under the time crunch, I would have glued this down much better. Okay, so I could add more of those. I'm going to add, I'm going to do some work with a toothbrush, some fine splatter marks. I find it helps to practice with the toothbrush off to the side, so you know you're getting the splatter marks you want. I like kind of a fine mist. I don't like big blobby blobs. Okay, and that's the basic process. I could come back and add thicker red lines if I wanted on top. I could do it with a string. I could do it with a brush. But that's the basic layering process of recomposing using a previous composition I made with a brayer. Okay.